All right, so let's take a look at the last thing that we're going to talk about today. And the last thing we're going to talk about is what happens if we have 4 people in 3 chairs. So this case, we're going to make our people A, B, C, and D. Now, what happens if order doesn't matter? So what exactly do I mean by order doesn't matter? So think about it in terms of like not sitting in a chairs, but groups of people. So for example, if I have the group of people A, B, and C, I don't care think of them as like throwing A, B, and C in a hat. I don't care where they are in the hat. I just care that I have person A, B, and C in my group. So what I want you to do is I want you to go through this table and I want you to cross off any time that we see a repeat of A, B, and C. So for example, down here, okay, A, B, and C, that's a repeat. So I'm going to cross that out because I don't need A, B, and C again. So over here, A, B, and C, I'm going to cross that out. And then, yeah, those are the only 2 places that I see A, B, and C together. Oh no, I lied. Maybe there's some more down here. Okay. All right. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to take a minute. And there's one more. Right here. Okay, what I would like you to do is I would like you to take a minute, pause the recording. I want you to try this and see what you come up with. Is I want you to cross out all the repeats. So I found my group of people A, B, and C. I don't care what order they're in. I don't care where they're sitting. I just know that those group of people are with me. So person A, B, and C are together. So I crossed out all the other combinations of A, B, and C. So let's take a look at your next one. It's A, B, and D. So go through and cross out all the other combinations of A, B, and D, and then continue, try the chart, and I want you to figure out how many different groups of people I have. I don't care about the arrangement. How many group possibilities do I have? Once you're done with that, go ahead and hit play and check and see how you did. All right, so hopefully you were able to get a chance and go through this and notice that the only possible groups of people I had were A, B, C. That's one group. It doesn't matter what order they're in. I just have that group of people. You have A, B, and D. Doesn't matter what group they're in or what order they're in, just that I have that group of people. A, C, D, and B, C, D. Those are all of the combinations of the groups of people. So what I went through is I found my group and then I crossed off anything with that same combination, okay? All right, so that's it. So even though you have 4 people, okay, I'm not necessarily looking to put them in chairs. I'm just looking to put them, I have 4 people and I want to choose 3 people to be in my group. What are the different possibilities of people to be in my group? Well, there's only a total of 4 different possibilities, okay? Now, if you notice, how many times did each occur in our chart? Well, 6, okay? So why did we only get 4 combinations? So let's think about this for a second. From our previous example, there was a total of 24 different combinations. So think about it. Okay, we had the total. We have a total of 24. What did we divide by? We divided by 6 to get 4. So the top was my total. The 6 represents, if you notice down here, that's the number of times it occurs. Okay, that's the number of times it occurs, or basically that it repeats. So there's a total of 6 groups of those, or 6 repetitions. So I'm dividing 24 by 6 to get a total of 4. So there's only 4 different ways that that can happen. All right, so that is called a combination. So remember, pom-pom, permutation, order matters. Combination is where order doesn't matter. So it's a selection of R objects from a group of N objects. So basically we had, in this case, we had 3 people from a total of 4 people. All right, so we had 4 people, but we only wanted to choose 3 of them. And the order that I chose them, the order they sit, like none of that matters. The only thing that's going to matter here is that that specific group of people is in my group, okay? So we're going to denote that the exact same way that we did permutations, only we're going to do NCR. So what does the N stand for? That's still your total number that you have. In this case, we had a total of 4 people. Okay, how many objects do you have? How many positions did we have available? So we had a total of 3. We wanted a group of 3. You can call them chairs here, just think of it as I literally wanted 3 people out of those 4 people. So that's how many positions. Now notice this formula is exactly the same. Okay, so if we were to write it here, so we'd say 4C3. On the top, you still have n factorial. So in that case, that's 4 factorial. And what exactly did that mean? That meant 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Now think about that over here. 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, that's 24. So that gives us the total, we said over here, the total number of possibilities that are available. Okay, so that's what your numerator gives you. Then the denominator is the same as your permutations is n minus r. Okay, so your denominator is, I think of it as like subtracting right here. So 4 minus 3 factorial, all times r factorial. Okay, so in this case, it's going to be 3 factorial. So 4 minus 3 is 1, so 1 factorial is just 1, and then 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1, notice those are crossing each other out, equals 24. So this is basically getting rid of all the repeats, okay? So your calculator, you're going to do the exact same thing. So if you pull up your calculator, like I said, mine, I have to put the number first. Okay, so I'm going to type in my 4 first. Okay, I'm going to go to math because we're dealing with math. Over to probability. Now in this case, I'm going to combinations. Order does not matter. I just want that group of 3 people. I'm going to hit enter. And then how many people do I want? I want 3. And then I hit enter again. Gives me a total of 4. Okay. All right. So once again, that's math. Then you're going to go over to probability. And then that's number 3. So you may or may not have to type in the number first. You're going to have to check your graphing calculator. Okay, so what the next practice page does is it is a summary of everything we've talked about with permutations, combinations, and the fundamental counting principle. What I would like you to do is I'd like you to take a minute. I'd like you to try these and then come back to the next video in order to see the explanations.